So they put me on stage here to just tell you a little bit about where we are going to in terms of where the program is heading, but also to address a couple of questions that are constantly popping up. And people like Madusha, they keep nagging me, please address that from the stage. So I'll try to do that, even if it's early in the morning. I would like to start with a quote from hundreds of thousands of developers in the world and say thank you to all of you for what you do. This is why we are here. It's a celebration of your success. So a little bit more about what happened since the beginning of the year. Over 360,000 people have been at your conferences, as your presentations around the world. I mean, not only yours, we are talking here about roughly 800 experts around the world, but I think this is amazing. Nearly 2,500 presentations given since the beginning of the year. You guys are also very active in writing content. This is slightly harder to measure, but we kind of believe over 8 million people actually looked at whatever you created, which is amazing. 1,300 content pieces created. A lot of people, they do workshops, and by workshops we mean everything that includes mentoring, very kind of like one-on-one setup. And then when you do workshops, we believe we can count these people as trained, because that's a different type of interaction. So over 40,000 people were trained intensively, and 1,300 workshops, and also video and podcast. This is big, and I'm really happy to see that these activities are growing. Nearly 1,000 pieces recorded and published, and 6 million people view that. It's amazing. So I hope those are not just the boring numbers to you, because I'm so excited to see the scale of the program, and with contributions to each and every of you. This is amazing. So that's a bigger context why we are here, but of course I would like to address some of the early morning FAQs. So this is all the stuff that Madusha gave me. Please talk about it. So it could be a little bit more interactive. We don't have that much time, but there will be more time for feedback after we present. But a couple of those hard things that it's good to address in the morning. Categories. Why do we open them? Why do we sometimes close them? Yeah, that's we get a lot of this. The most important for us is to provide the value to every GDE who is in the program, and the value is defined in a very different area. So of course we work hard to give you more visibility. We work hard to make you better connected to different Google teams. So you know more about product roadmaps and different features and stuff like this. But when we are unable to provide some of those, so for instance, if we don't have a good partnership team within Google, we will not open a specific category. And we get a lot of requests, sometimes very narrow category for I would say, very narrow part of technology or some Google product. If there is a very committed team at Google that we can partnership with, so they would have Hangouts with you, they would respond to mailing lists, they would have early access programs, they would provide content at the GDE Summit, then we might open the category. At the same time, Google is a big company, right? And this is not the official, this is very intimate setup, right? So I can tell you a little bit more. Google is a big company, and there are reorgs, reorganizations. People move teams, people change what they do. So sometimes, even though personal commitments, they don't last as long as we would wish for. Also, priorities of different teams, they changed over time. So unfortunately, it happens that at some point it might happen that we had some partnerships and we don't have anymore. And it's very hard for us to provide this value that I've just mentioned. This is when we will close some categories, because we believe GDE badge is not just the badge, like a certification that you get and it's out there and nothing else happens. This is a community. This should be an active program with interactions, with new information that you are able to get. And if we are not able to provide it, this is what's going to happen. Yeah, and let's address elephant in the room. This is very soon is going to happen for design and marketing categories. So part of the bigger vision where we try to go with the program is to focus the GDE program much more just on core technologies that we have at Google, because that will help us focus and provide you better value. But in the long term, actually, there might be the case that we'll be building something even larger than that. So we are actually internally working on maybe, hopefully, have some more broader umbrella brand for GDE-like programs. So GDE would probably always stay very technical, focused program. But then there might be similar program also run by our team and our platforms. And then we hope we could be much more widespread in terms of technology. So I think then when we are ready, when we have those partnerships, we can get designers back. We could get all of the other Google products that, you know, there is a lot of people who would like to be experts in those, but they are not necessarily as close to technology as we would require currently. And we are talking about very different things, including all the way even to AdWords and so on. There are great people who do business and do stuff like AdWords, and currently we don't see that we could support them very well in the program. Does this help? I hope so. We try to keep the high standards of the program. So sometimes if you see us doing something slightly slower, or you ask yourself the question, why is it this way? Please also remember, understand that we are part of the large company. So sometimes things have to go through the legal friends of ours, and they are very hard to reach, or marketing, or even PR sometimes. And we are also very global program, so we have to coordinate with a lot of our regional leads, people like Madusha, Kyle, a lot of people around the world. So whatever seems natural in one place, it's very not natural in other place, I would say. So we have to sync up on this, and we have to somehow be on the same page in terms of how we do things. So everything that we do, we try to keep, you know, high standards of the program somewhere in our mind, and that includes stuff like exits. So very often we do exit people from the program because we believe that, you know, good community is a lively community, is an active community. If people are inactive, or if people are not good members of the community in many different ways, they probably should not be with us. This is not a huge number, but it's happening constantly. And actually, I'm very happy about it, because there was time, maybe like 2 years ago, when we were not that much actively exiting people from the program. And I think that's bad, because you see a lot of people who are committed and so on, and others are just somewhere there doing not that much. So this is going to happen. We are not always able to provide all of the details in the spirit of super high transparency to the community why we exited some of the people, yeah? As you know, there is nothing like a quota or whatever. We are not in sales or anything like this in terms of activity, but also in terms of, let's say, some misbehavior or other problems. We are not able very often to provide the reason, especially to the larger community, because that's a whole different legal issue, yeah? So please understand that. We try to keep the high standards, but it's especially, I would say, we try to be transparent about everything, but especially stuff like exits, this is not always easy to give all of the information. Code of conduct, which I should probably address more by saying, you know, every single GDE signed the terms and conditions when they got into the program. If you don't remember what was there, please go back and read it, because sometimes people are surprised. But most of the time, if you're a good citizen of the community and people are like you and there is no huge tensions, there is no troubles. But again, we are a very global program. So please be very careful about what different things what would be the impact of different actions in different regions, right? And yeah, let's try to be sensitive and always be nice to each other. The importance of activity reporting, I don't know why I put it there. I'm very happy. It's actually, it improved a lot. I probably, in the past, I remember when I took over the program 3 years ago, only 40% of experts reported anything, like anything in their whole tenure. Right now, I believe we are at 84%. All of the experts reported something in the last, I believe, 6 months. And we are growing a lot, so actually that includes people who are like onboarded in last 2 months, which is not always, you know, like during vacations or something, it's not always that easy to get something. Please think about it though, it's very important for us. If we don't report all these numbers, if we don't have great stories, then it's harder for us to get more resources and commitment from other teams at Google. Justina shows me some... Yes, secret signs. But that's good. So we have 3 minutes to think, to think and talk about how the future looks like. So grand vision is actually to have even other groups and similar programs cooperating and being part of the larger program, but I think that's something that will happen really, I mean, not even this year or next year, because that's really hard to figure out, especially the branding, because we feel very strong and very positive about the GDE brand as a established brand for technology people, but the rest is slightly harder to do. We want to focus on the excellence of the program, so different things. We would like to get, of course, your feedback, and that will be the rest of the session. I'm very happy right now how my team is shaped. So people like Joseph, he's working very hard to make our travel support experience slightly better. I would like your honest opinion if it's actually getting better or worse. I think it's getting much better. But I would like to know more. Alina, who sits over there, she's our person who will make you more famous even, yeah? So she's working very hard she created a lot of internal connections over past year, internally at Google, so you will see more and more reshares from Google channels of your content, co-creation with different Googlers as well of some content. So she's there to promote whatever you do and amplify whatever you do. Przemek from my team, who is not here, he's actually working a lot with our Launchpad program and also mentors, but still, you know, startups and the opportunities to mentors, this is something important. There might be more. And we work very hard, so people like Justina, she works on diversity, but also she creates a lot of connections internally at Google to provide even more value to you by connecting you very directly to those teams. So this is something where we want to grow as much as possible.